Hey guys, this is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another movie review. In today's movie review, this is going to be a movie review on the 1984 movie A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yep, that's right. I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street on VOD today. I rented it on video on demand today. And A Nightmare on Elm Street is directed by Wes Craven, and the movie's about this girl named Nancy who's basically going through sleep disorders and having scary bad dreams about this creepy dude and of course the villain in this film who kills people in their dreams, and that's going to be Freddy Krueger. So Nancy's basically having scary bad dreams, like, hallucinations about Freddy Krueger, and Freddy Krueger was basically just going around killing Nancy's friends, and of course, Nancy also has a boyfriend named Glenn. And so, and of course, Nancy has to do whatever she can to try and stop Freddy Krueger. And there you go. So what do I think of it? I gotta say, the original Nightmare on Elm Street is definitely an all-time scary movie classic from the 80s. Like yeah, because this is basically the 1984 original movie that I'm reviewing today. Since I watched it today, and I gotta say, it's definitely a well-made scary movie from 1984. It's definitely a well-made horror film, and also a slasher film too. Because there's a lot of blood in this film that's basically enjoyable to watch in terms of horror movie fans. It's really bloody, and it's really gory at the same time. And the original Nightmare on Elm Street is also directed by the same guy who later directed the 1996 original Scream film. Like, the original Scream, Wes Craven. And he does a great job directing this film. And A Nightmare on Elm Street was also one of New Line Cinema's earliest films that they made. And the acting performances are well done too. Like, the girl who played Nancy in this film, she did a great job. And of course, the actor who plays the villain of this film, Freddy Krueger, he does a great job. Freddy Krueger was awesome. Yeah, and Freddy Krueger is also considered to be one of the best horror villains of all time, besides Candyman and Michael Myers from Halloween. Oh yeah, and of course Jason from Friday the 13th. Yeah, there's a lot of great classic horror and scary movie villains out there. The bad guys. And yeah, Freddy Krueger was definitely awesome. And also, fun fact, A Nightmare on Elm Street was also the very first movie that Johnny Depp was actually in. This was actually Johnny Depp's first film. Like, Johnny Depp from a bunch of other movies that he was in. Johnny Depp actually plays Nancy's boyfriend in this film, Glenn. And Johnny Depp does a great job playing Glenn in this film. And yeah, and plus, Nightmare on Elm Street also has a lot of sequels too. Like, there's been lots of sequels to the original Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984. And yes, there's also a remake that came out in 2010. And I know that the remake, I've only seen the beginning of the remake, of the 2010 remake. And I only watched the closing credits because why not? I love closing credits. And plus, I also heard that the first half of the closing credits have the song All I Have to Do Is Dream by the Everly Brothers. And of course, the actors who were in the 2010 remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street was actually, most of them I actually know. Like, Clancy Brown was in the remake, and Thomas Dekker. Yeah, but I gotta say, guys, I say the original Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984 is definitely the best one out of all of them. Because nothing can top the original, right? Am I right? Even the story itself for the original story of Nightmare on Elm Street, it's definitely very interesting too. And the music score is creepy in a fun way, and it's enjoyable to watch and listen as well. So overall, A Nightmare on Elm Street was an amazing great film from 1984. And I'm going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you haven't watched A Nightmare on Elm Street yet, then I say I definitely recommend it to all the scary movie fans out there. Yep, to all the horror films out there and slasher film fans out there. And I say stick with the original from 1984 because I've only seen the beginning and the closing credits of the 2010 remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, but I kind of didn't really feel like watching the whole entire thing of the remake because from what I heard, the remake also had some similar scenes that happened in the original, like the bathtub part, like, you know, when Freddy Krueger's claw pops out of the bubbles in the bathtub. That was actually in the original, and it was in the remake too. But yeah, and like I said, I already watched this film today I rented it on VOD today. And plus I know the Nightmare on Elm Street, the original and the remake, I know they're both streaming on HBO Max right now, but this time I didn't really feel like watching them on HBO Max on my computer. I just think renting them on demand on TV, sometimes I think that works better than having to watch movies on a streaming service on your computer. But nevertheless, I still don't mind that. So yeah, definitely check out Nightmare on Elm Street if you haven't yet. And so that's going to be it for this movie review on the 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye everybody, and that's about it.